Want to be a topper in MBA entrance exams? Join BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA YouTube channel and watch serial 99 percentilers teaching you the tips and tricks.
Good noon, all of you. I hope I am visible and audible to everybody. So I am visible to myself. I hope I am visible to you as well. Good afternoon, Sanil. Good noon, Ashish. So how have you all been? Hi, Abhilasha. Good noon. Good afternoon, Dharmi. All right. So we've been having a number of sessions under this title Grammar Capsule. Yes. So this is a series that has been going on. We've so far talked about nouns, pronouns. We've talked about articles, right? So we'll talk about prepositions today, right? Good afternoon, Anushka, Anuja, Yash. Yes, absolutely. This is very relevant for non-CAT exams, particularly MHCT, because MHCT asks you a good number of questions on grammar. Yes. So in some slots last year, up to 15 questions were from grammar. So it's very relevant for MHCT. Right. In fact, I specifically asked our team to mention MHCT in our title slide, but because they said that, other MBA exams cover all the MBA exams, including MHCT. Right. Good noon. Good noon. Good afternoon, Rohit. All right then. So prepositions, before I begin again, before I launch into questions, I want you to tell me, what do you understand by the word? A layperson definition will do. I'm not looking for a bookish definition here. Yes. What do you understand by the word prepositions? Tell me. Good afternoon, Prashant, Rohit, Om. Good choice, Yash. All right. Pre plus position. Pre plus position. Yes. So are these position words then? Can I say these are position words? If I think of some examples on, under, between, they look like position words. But if you look at some other examples of prepositions such as regarding, notwithstanding, these don't appear like position words. Yes? So it's a common misconception that prepositions are position words. They talk about the positions of things. That is not the reason why they're called prepositions. So, pre plus position. I will start with this question, but let's first understand what prepositions are. Pre plus position. They are called prepositions because they are positioned before something. They are placed before something. What is that something? Let's see. When I say the cat sat under the table, this sentence, right? This very simple sentence. So all of you say that, okay, ma'am, under is the preposition. But why is it called a preposition? Because it comes before table. It has been positioned before table and it tells me the relationship of this table with the cat. Basically with some other word, with some other phrase in the sentence. It tells me how the cat is related to the table. So prepositions are those words that come before a noun or a pronoun, usually before a noun or a pronoun. Sometimes they do come afterwards, but there is a lot of debate regarding that, right? So they usually come before a noun or a pronoun and talk about the relationship of this noun or pronoun with some other word or phrase in the sentence. That is their job and not that they are position words. Right? Okay. So very good, Krishna. Correct, correct. So now, Ashish, object, what in what sense are you calling? I mean, what is the object that we're talking about here? So we have to understand this, that this noun or pronoun that I'm talking about, in grammar, we call this the object of the preposition. Object of the preposition, right? Okay, so this is the preposition, and this noun or pronoun that this preposition comes before, this is called the object of the preposition. Okay, all right. So good. Let's see. Some of you have also answered the question. Yes, now tell me what should be the answer to this question. Fill in the blank right away. Yes. So fill in the blanks on prepositions are very popular, not just in, let's say, MAHCET, but also in other non-CAT exams, let's say NMAT, SNAP. You do get fill in the blanks specifically focused on preposition. So that's why more of these questions today. Let's see what you say. C, I've got D. Others, what do you say? Apart from C and D, I also got one A, but then that message was retracted. D, okay. Okay. So, we are confused between these two. Okay, I absolutely understand. Okay. Now, it is off the street. That is something that a lot of you are sure about, right? It belongs to the street. There's a restaurant at the corner of the street or in the corner of the street. Now, let's understand their purpose, the purpose of these two prepositions. At refers to a location when you are talking about something as a point. Okay, imagine a map and you're talking about something as a location there. In refers to an area. Okay, you are looking at that thing as something three-dimensional now. It's no longer a point. Yes? So you have to understand that, okay, what is the sense? There is a restaurant dash the corner of the street. What is the intention of this person? To convey the location to you. There's a restaurant. There's a restaurant at the corner of the street. This person is talking to you about the location of this restaurant, right? So at the corner of the street is the more appropriate preposition here. Does this make sense to you? There is a restaurant at the corner of the street. I am talking to you about the location of that restaurant. Okay. So that's why C and not D. A good question this was, right? And I hope everybody has understood why off in the second blank, because we are talking about this corner that belongs to this street. So to show the sense of belonging, I have put off in the second blank. All right. So this is the definition of prepositions plus an FIB question on prepositions. If you want to practice more FIB questions, I have told you that Renan Martin has a lot of them, right? So after the chapter on prepositions, in fact, in between also, there are a lot of FIBs there, right? So you can practice from there. Now, the second question, yes. Okay, B, all right. What else? What else? Just B. Are we sure about it? Okay. B, all right. So Prats has a very interesting question. Sometimes we say, okay, there's a restaurant around the corner. Yes. So why are we saying around the corner? Basically, this is an idiomatic usage. When I say around the corner, I mean very nearby. Okay. So all I want to say is there's a restaurant nearby. That's when I say, okay, around the corner. Right. He stays around the corner. That means he stays nearby. So all it means is nearby. Okay. Idiomatic usage. Okay, I've also got one C, one D now. All right, all right. Let's see. So I wanted some variety in the responses. Okay. Primarily B, some of you say C and D. Propel. Propel. What does propel mean? Propel. When you give a push to something, yes? Move it to a higher trajectory. That is when you propel something. So you propel something to a win, right? You propel something, that propelled his team to a 14-run win. It actually, in a way, raised them, in a way, pushed them to a win. Okay, so to is the preposition that I'm looking for here. Okay, not with a win. With means that something is acting, let's say, when all do we use with? He killed her with a knife. Dark sentence. Okay, so with here refers to the instrument. Okay, then to indicate that two people are together, let's say I have come with him, I have come with him, I am with him. So that sense of togetherness, one along with the other. So that is when with is used. So propel his team with a win? No, that does not make sense. Propel them to a goal, right? So that is the goal here. Okay. For a win again, no. For means okay, meant for something. So no, that does not fit here. Moreover, if you look at the second blank, they won over another team, right? Or against another team. Even if against were there, that would also fit. A win over or against Lucknow Super Giants. A win on them? No. A win to them? A win with them? No. Okay. It's a clear 14-run win, right? Towards them? No. They are not a goal. So win over them. Okay. So against them. That is why B is the correct answer, not C, not D. Okay, so I hope now the meaning of propel is clear to you, that it pushed them, it in a way raised their trajectory, right? All right, all right. Okay, then let's hope this is clear to everybody. And now let's look at a question where you have to identify which is the correct way of writing this sentence. A sentence has been written in 5 different ways. Tell me which is the way that is correct grammatically. Okay, so let me put these full stops here. Yeah, now. So, A, okay. Meenat says A. Others? Vikram says A. Alright. Rooster says C. Okay, more A's. I really enjoy taking these YouTube sessions. I actually missed them in the days when we didn't have them. A, okay. Alright, alright. So, a lot of you say A. Now, the thing about prepositions is that one is that they have some fixed usages, 1, 2, 3. So let's say 2 has a particular usage, right? The other way in which prepositions are used when they are combined with verbs. So verbs plus prepositions, they make what we call phrasal verbs. Okay, basically phrases of verbs, so phrasal verbs. Now the thing with phrasal verbs is that they are just like vocabulary words carrying fixed meaning. And usually, and a lot of times actually, this meaning is different from, let's say, their literal meaning. So for instance, if I ask you to look up a word in the dictionary, I am not literally asking you to look up, right? So when I say I will call you back, I will call you back. It's not like I will actually, let's say, shout and then I'll ask you to come back. I am talking about calling you back telephonically, right? Then when I say cut down on, you are not literally cutting down something. It's not like you've cut down a tree. When I say cut down on some calories, that means okay, reduce them. Cut down on, let's say, WhatsApp chats, that means I'm asking you to reduce that chatting time. So these are called phrasal verbs and they have fixed meanings. They are just like your vocabulary words. Okay, that's what makes them slightly trickier. So here see this, roll back, simply roll, and this is roll in. See, we say roll out. We use the word roll out when we launch something. The company has rolled out a new product. Roll back when it revokes something, right? It launched something, let's say, but now it is revoking it, pulling it out, pulling that out from the market, okay, or going back on the plan. So that is roll back. Now, well-funded startups are considering, so now it becomes a tense question also in a way. Are considering, will be considering. This one does not even use a verb. Yes, so this should have been outrightly rejected. They considered, okay. Earlier they had considered, but if they had considered past tense, then how can I use have here? Yes, how can I use have here? That's a tense inconsistency. Okay. Then they considered rolling. No, it should be rolling back. They had earlier doled them out. Earlier they had generously given it to people. Now they're considering revoking them. Okay. So rolling back is the word that I'm looking for, and that's why the answer has to be A. Okay. So A is the answer. All right, good. Most of you said that. I hope you've understood why E is not the answer. If they had considered this, that means they had doled it out even before that, even before the process of consideration, right? So have cannot come here. So A is the answer. Okay. All right. Hope this is clear to everybody. Okay. Coming to fill in the blank again. Let's see what you fill in these blanks. Okay. All right. A, C. What else? What else? A and C. That's what I've got so far. Others? Come on. Okay. Okay. A and C. The company lost business. Now again, this is a standard usage to the tune of. That means that approximately this was the amount to the tune of. The sum added up to 2000 crores. So that is when we use the phrase to the tune of. It does not have anything to do with music, right? So these are again some idioms that you should be aware of. So idioms, phrasal verbs, they also play a big role when we learn prepositions, right? Because here to the tune of means to the extent of, and nothing to, and it has nothing to do with music at all, right? So 2000 crores. Following disruptions dash the global supply chain. In the global supply chain, so there was a disruption in that chain there was a disruption. A is the answer. Okay, let's have a look at D also. With the tune of, no, it has to be to the tune of. It's an idiom, right? So either A or B. And disruptions in the supply chain. Disruptions in the supply chain, hence A. Okay, I hope this makes sense. All right. Now coming to the next fill in the blank here. Let's see again. So there are 3 blanks this time. Let's see what you say. Does the form fit there? Which one are we talking about? Which question are we talking about? Does the from fit there? Okay. We'll go back. We'll go back. Okay. B, D. All right. Okay. Goal chaser is saying D hai answer. ठीक है. Pretty sure he is about it. He or she. Okay. Okay. All right. So B, D, E. That's what I've got. Let's understand what the answer should be. Okay. And please listen to the team. They're sending you a message in the chat box. Okay. Situated. Now, where is it situated? In or at? Okay. Let's see what should come here. Situated in or at one of London's most historically important addresses. Okay, one of London's most historically important addresses. The Old War Office, originally completed. Now, this is very clear to everybody. So, let's start with the easy blank. It cannot be at 1906. It cannot be by 1906, right? Because if I'm saying by 1906, then I should say that it was completed. Okay. Or if basically if I'm giving this limit, then something of a context is required there, right? So that's why by does not fit. Yes. So in B or D, right? Now is steeped in history. Okay. What does steep mean? Let's understand that. I think that holds the key to this question. That's how I solved it. Okay. So I realized that okay, in 1906 makes sense, but then it's the steeped dash history that actually was the decider for me, right? So what does it mean to steep? We say this, no, let your tea steep for a while. Let your tea steep for a while. Yes? Tell me. You must have heard this term, steeping of the tea. So what happens? What happens at that point? क्या कर रहे हैं जब हम टी में क्या कर रहे हैं when you know the tea is steeping? Tell me. This will tell me how many of you are tea fans here. We are simply soaking it in water. Okay. So when we steep the tea, we are soaking it in water. Yes. So the term that is used is no, I am talking about steep as a verb here. Steep the tea. I give you an example also. Steep the tea and we say in water because the idea is to soak it in water. Now this is a metaphorical usage. Okay, it means that the place is soaked in history. The place is full of such history. So it is soaked in history. Right? In is the preposition that we use when we talk about steep in the sense of soaking. And that's why in will fit here. And once you realize that there is only one option that says in, and that's how D became my answer. Okay, so situated at one of London's most historically important addresses. Basically, again, my goal is to talk about its location. Right? My goal is to talk about its location. The Old War Office, originally completed in 1906, is steeped in history. D becomes our answer. I hope this is clear. In the sense of slope, Abhilasha, you are correct, rising or falling. So rising, steep slope is usually a slope that rapidly rises or falls. Correct. Okay, completed. Originally completed by 1906. Originally completed by 1906. By is not incorrect here, so to say. Okay. But if you look at the context of this sentence, no, the idea is that first it was completed in this year. First it was completed in this year. Perhaps later on some changes were made to it, right? Then originally completed by 1906 also makes sense, but here the idea is to not talk about, let's say, the process of its construction and then a limit, a threshold by which it got completed. That's not the idea here. The idea is to talk about, okay, where it is, when it was completed, and give us some additional information about it. And then give us some additional information about it. That's the idea here. So that is why we didn't choose by. Okay, had there been an option at, by, in, then it would have become really tricky. At London's, okay, originally completed. Then also I would have chosen in only. Even when, let's say, there were an option at, something has happened to my pen tab. Okay, just a second. Yeah. So even if there were an option at, by, and in, then also I would end up choosing at, in, and in only. Okay. Why? Because the idea here does not seem to be to talk about a threshold of completion, to talk about a limit of completion. It seems to be to talk about a place's location, when it was completed, and to simply tell you that it is a place full of history. That's it. Right? That's why at, in is more appropriate. Right? Okay. So, completed, yes. Okay, so, okay. Pratt says, historically important addresses. Addresses generally refer to certain areas. Okay. So, here you are saying that in could also come. So, see, I also allowed that possibility, no, that at can come here, in can come here. So, situated in, okay, you're saying in one of London's, situated in London is fine. All right. Situated in London is fine, but situated in an address, what will you say? Situated in that address or at that address? Yes, tell me. Situated in London, absolutely correct. So when I just saw the word London, I told you, okay, in can also come. But when you read further, it talks about an address. An address anyway is looked at as a location, a point. When you give someone your address, no, you should say, I live at, okay, I live at 10 Baker Street. Okay, somehow this street always comes to my mind. So I live at 10 Baker Street. So now when you give an address, you treat it as a location. So anyway, this is a location that we are talking about. So in cannot come here. But yes, had it just been a city, in is absolutely correct. Okay. Hope that makes sense. All right. So the answer here is clear to everybody then. At, in. So prepositions have these nuances, and again, I also realized this part that okay, I should use at with addresses, okay, and I cannot use in there. But if I talk about just the street, then I should say I live in Baker Street. So initially it was very jarring for me that why am I saying in Baker Street? Why should I not say on Baker Street? Then I read it that when you are talking about a specific street and you say on, that gives the impression that you don't have a house there, that you live on the street itself, right? That's why we say in Baker Street, we treat it like an area. So you understand all these nuances when you read some grammar book or the other related to the concepts that we are discussing, right? So do read that chapter on prepositions. It has some very different points, right? From Renan Martin, you can consider reading it. And as I told you, you do have time. You can complete it in 3 months. Yes, 3 months are more than enough to complete Renan Martin. Okay. So this is going to be the answer here. Yes. Yes, I am a fan of Sherlock Holmes. That's there. So back in school, for a certain period, our school started this practice wherein we didn't get trophies whenever we won something or whenever we secured, let's say, a good position in the class. We were gifted books. So that's when I was gifted a lot of Sherlock Holmes books. So it's a childhood love, you could say, right? So I've read all the complete works of Sherlock Holmes. I've read all of that. Okay. All right, so D, but yes, it was back in school, so it's been a long time. At, in. Now, Yes, I hope you've been enjoying the session. If you are, then please go and press the like button. Our team has been telling you that in the chat box, right? Uh, Okay, okay. Good afternoon, Goal Chaser. Good. So you can watch this entire grammar capsule series. This is very relevant for any exam that asks grammar, right? So MHCT, as I told you, in some slots last year there were 11 questions, in some there were 15, in some we could not really gauge it because there were fill in the blanks that seemed to be a combination of vocabulary and grammar. In the last slot of MHCT, I remember there were 20 such fill in the blanks, right? So, grammar is very important for MHCT. Okay? All right. Now, moving to another sentence where we have to find out which is the correct way of writing this sentence. So, these are the sentences given to you. Yes, tell me which is the correct way. Nina, I wish Arthur Conan Doyle wrote about Rajnikant, but unfortunately he didn't. Think of a good question, Sanil. Let's discuss this after this question. Think about, think of. Yes, tell me the answer for this one. Then let's discuss this. A very interesting concept. Okay. That's it. That's it. Okay. So basically, C is what most of you are saying. I've got two D's. I've also got one B. C, D, and B. Okay. So, see, is there a contradiction? We have to first find that out, right? So, while they are yet to conclude, what I'm trying to say is while the negotiations are yet to conclude, there hasn't really been a conclusion so far. They are yet to conclude. The World Bank has already ruled out any new assistance to Sri Lanka. Okay, so ठीक है IMF के साथ अभी बात चल रही है. That is yet to conclude. World Bank ने पर already मना कर दिया है, right? So here as gives a cause effect relationship. So this cannot come. Now, while the government's negotiations with the IMF are yet to conclude, this should be the sequence, are yet to conclude. Not yet are to conclude, no. Not are to conclude yet, no. Basically, this means still here, are still to conclude. Okay, yet are to conclude, no. Are to conclude, this it just eats that yet and puts it here. Once you have chosen though for contradiction, you need not put anything afterwards. After though, we don't put yet, we don't put but, nothing. Though in itself is sufficient to tell us that there is a contradiction. Though and although, sufficient to tell us that there is a contradiction. So no, no. There's only one option actually that is correct. While the government's negotiations with the IMF are yet to conclude, the World Bank has ruled out, see present tense, tense consistency, has ruled out any new assistance to Sri Lanka. Now prepositions here, see for, from, to. You give assistance to someone. Okay, you give assistance to someone, not for someone, from someone. So in the sense of prepositions also A and B are incorrect. Okay, so C is our answer here. Yet are to conclude. No, no, no. Are yet to conclude. Are still to conclude. Okay. So we say this, no, uh, I am still to decide what to do. I am yet to decide what to do. We don't say I am to decide yet what to do. I am to decide yet what to do. We don't say that. Similarly here, they are yet to conclude, not they are to conclude yet. Okay. They haven't concluded yet would be correct. They haven't concluded yet. They haven't concluded yet. This would be fine. Okay, so here it means again till now. Okay, but here we should put it here. Are yet to conclude. I am yet to decide. Okay, I hope this makes sense. And yes, the question think about versus think of. Think of is actually a broader phrase. It's a broader phrase as compared to think about. Think about means you are giving a serious thought to something. Okay, you are considering, let's say it's pros and cons, you're thinking about it. Okay, so if let's say somebody asks you, oh, have you made a decision yet? No, I'm still thinking about it. Right? Think of while having this meaning. In addition, it has some other meanings also. For instance, when you tell someone, I was thinking of you. I was thinking of you. Let's say think about someone would mean that you're worrying about them, you're probably considering something about their future. That is what thinking about would mean. Thinking of you simply means okay, you came to my mind. Okay, so I was thinking of you, right? Or we use this when we say I can't even think of doing this. I can't even think of doing this. When you can't really bring, even when you find something so undesirable that you can't even bring it to your mind. Okay, I can't even think of doing this. So think of has these two additional usages when something comes to your mind, okay, when something is brought to your mind, or when you consider something so undesirable that it can't even come to your mind. Right? Think about giving a serious thought to something, considering all the possibilities of the, let's say, action, decision that you want to take. Right? Hope this is clear. Indeed. If it were if it were are yet to conclude, then also as this cause effect relationship does not make sense. Assistance from, no, World Bank is not taking assistance from Sri Lanka. World Bank is giving assistance to Sri Lanka. Okay, any new assistance to Sri Lanka. Okay, with Sri Lanka, no assistance with Sri Lanka. Again, they are not doing something along with Sri Lanka. They are providing something to Sri Lanka. Okay, it's a give and take. It's not doing something hand in hand. So with cannot come. Hope this makes sense. Also, if you there are multiple errors actually in D. The World Bank has been ruled out of. The वर्ल्ड बैंक को किसी ने रूल आउट नहीं करा, वर्ल्ड बैंक ने रूल आउट करा है. वर्ल्ड बैंक ने कहा है कि हम नहीं देंगे असिस्टेंस. सो वर्ल्ड बैंक ने रूल आउट करा है, नॉट दैट वर्ल्ड बैंक हैज बीन रूल्ड आउट ऑफ. ओके, so the World Bank has ruled out, it has not been ruled out of. Hope this makes sense, goal chaser. So multiple errors in various other options, there was just this one that fits. Okay, and that is C. Okay, then let's move to a fill in the blank. Three blanks again. Look at all the blanks and eliminate. Okay, let's see what you say. Again, some phrasal verbs involved here in this question. Okay. How to conclude that they're not doing anything together? Rather, assistance is provided to Sri Lanka. It has ruled out any assistance. So in that case, Prem, then we should say it has ruled out any assistance to so and so country, uh, let's say in collaboration with Sri Lanka, because saying that it has ruled out any assistance with Sri Lanka does not make sense in isolation. Then also you have to then tell me that, okay, along with Sri Lanka, whom was it providing an assistance to? Okay, C, D, B, okay, B, C, D, all right, B, C, D. Any other option? Okay, a lot of B's coming from Narsimha. See this. Now, here looking for, when you look for something, phrasal verb, it means you are searching for something. Okay, look for. I am looking for my pen. Okay, I am looking for my pen. So basically, I am unable to find it. That's why I'm looking for it. I'm searching for it. So, no. The government is not searching anything. Then to look to. Yes. Does to look up to someone? Yes, I have heard that. What does to look to mean? Yes. She looked to me in the time of her need. Yes. So what would that mean? To look to someone? She looked to me in the time of her need. That means she basically expected me to provide her some assistance. Yes. She expected me to provide her with some help. So that is look to. So the government is looking to provision. No, government is not is not expecting provision to provide it with something. So to again, look to does not make sense here. Look to means when you expect someone to help you in the time of your need. Okay. So it has to be look at. So one look at is the literal look at. I looked at you, you looked at me, right? That song. Yeah. So that is not what is meant here. We are not literally looking at. It means again to carefully consider something, to think about. Here to look at means to think about. To think about. Okay, so the government is thinking about providing more railway racks. Okay, so basically, it's the option is either we go for more and more trucks, right? More costly, but that is costlier. So, what if we provide more racks in railways so that more stuff can be piled on top of each other? Okay, or on top of the other. So provision of, okay, provision of something means that that has been provided, or that is they are considering to provide it, right? The government is looking at provision of more railway tracks as an option to costlier road transport. Okay, as an option two. So when we say this is an option to X, or this mobile is an option to mobile X, that means you can consider one out of these. Okay, so this is also an option. Good, good. Seek help was correct. Look for is not right. Look for means search. The government is not searching for provision. The government is considering about providing, pondering, considering. Absolutely. Right? So our answer here should be, it should be B, Bangalore. Okay, good. Those who said B, correct, correct. So this one was a good question. Why? Because there were a lot of phrasal verbs involved. Look for, look to, look at, provision of, right? Then option two and not option from, option for. No. ठीक है? Any query, ask me. It's okay. We can discuss. Otherwise, those who've understood completely, you can attempt this question. All right. Let's see what you say here. Okay, again. Look at all the three blanks, eliminate. Aplomb, in case you don't know the meaning, it's basically self-confidence, particularly shown in a difficult situation, demanding situation. Okay, a lot of C's, then A also, E also. All right. Practicing an option 2. Yes, an option 2 has been used in the sense of an alternative to. If I say X is an option to Y, that means X is an alternative to Y. Absolutely. In that sense, I've used it, Prats. Okay. So B, C, but mostly C's and one E. That's what I've got. Instead of, that should have been clear. Instead of, see, if you simply use instead, okay, then how do you use it? If let's say the of is not used. She chose, instead she chose healthy food. Right? So that means now I am using it as a conjunction here, adverbial conjunction. Right? And I'm telling, and this is modifying the entire sentence. That okay, I am giving a contradiction to something that happened earlier. Right? Okay. Then you can actually, instead of placing it in the beginning, you could place it towards the end also. So she chose healthy food instead. She chose healthy food instead. Or she chose her studies instead. She chose mobile X instead. Okay, anything. So that is when we use it without the preposition of. Yes. Instead of getting pulled down, here of was required. Okay. Instead of getting pulled down, you get pulled down by something. Something pulls you down. So that's the agent, right? That is pulling you down. So you get pulled off by it. So C or D, right? Not E. Pulled down by the leadership pressure, he carried the additional responsibility with self-confidence. Okay, so self-confidence was his companion that way. He carried it with confidence. Okay, speak with confidence. That's what we say, right? So, with self-confidence, and that's why C is our answer. Okay, most of you said C only. All right, all right. Now, an error spotting question. So now we have a couple of error spotting questions, some of our last questions for the day. So I want an absolutely enthusiastic response here. Let's see what you say. Yeah. Good afternoon, Nirmal. We are on some of our last questions for the day. Error spotting. Aplomb is self-confidence, calmness, poise. That is aplomb. And that too in the face of a challenging situation. B, okay. C, okay. E, no error, all right. Others, come on. Let's see, okay. All right. After taking charge as PM, the citizens were apprised. Apprise, okay. So what does apprise mean? It's a verb which means to inform. So they were informed of. Here, with apprised we always use of. That's how it works. Like with abide we always use by. Okay. With averse we always use to. She was averse to the idea. That means she didn't quite like the idea. We abide by these rules. We follow these rules. He was apprised of the situation. That means he was made aware of the situation. He was apprised of the situation. He was made aware of the situation. So C is our answer here. And not really B, because regarding is the incorrect preposition here. We needed of. Okay. After taking charge as PM, I hope nobody said A. A is fine. Okay. B, E and C. So there is an error. So E cannot be the answer. Right? So the more you read, the better you get at prepositions. Reading helps you with your grammar as well. Okay, because then you notice some prepositions being used in a certain way. So I never learned this separately, that after abide we use by. It's just that I saw it always, I saw that okay, after abide we always wrote by. So that's how I realized that okay, these two come together. Right? So the more you read, the better you get at prepositions, at phrasal verbs also. Okay. Let's see the last question for the day. No, about cannot be used, Prats. It's pretty standard. After a price, you use of. After a price, you use of. Let's see the last question for the day. Sweetie has already answered. So she has become the winner of the fastest fingers first. That was going on in my mind. Okay. Others. Not really, Prem. See, in, at, on, the when we discussed about locations, addresses, that was not about phrasal verbs. It was just about our knowledge as to when to use in, when to use on, when to use at. See, okay. So a lot of you are saying C. So tell me the errors also, like to give me the corrections also. Although the question concerned only the two communities, what's wrong with C? I mean, what's wrong with this fragment C? So what did I tell you? I told you that after although, once you've given although, the contradiction is clear. You do not need a yet, a still, a but to show that contradiction. Although means there is a contradiction. Though means that there is a contradiction. So this still is redundant. Okay. And it can be extended. It can be extended to the entire modern world. You extend something to something, right? So C and D definitely have an error. C is our answer. Absolutely correct. Prats, Rakshana, absolutely correct. It can be extended to. Correct, Prem. Absolutely. So C and D are the answers here. So your error spotting questions won't be confined to, let's say, just one concept. So while this was a preposition concept, this was clearly a conjunction concept here, right? Here it was a purely preposition question, right? But here also again, it becomes a matter of what preposition is fixed after a price. It's fixed that after a price we are going to use of, right? So comes it becomes more about vocabulary than about grammar. That's why I said that the more you read, the better you become at such things, right? So I hope all of you learned some new some ways in which we should actually put prepositions, some phrases after which or before which we should put some prepositions. You learned that. You also learned about some phrasal verbs, and also I hope you'll go and read that chapter from Renan Martin and attempt its fill in the blanks. Very, very important. Okay, not just for your MHCT, but any other non-CAT entrance exam that you're planning to take, right? Okay then. So you already know about our program. Yes, our CAT 22 comprehensive program. Neenat seems to be in a hurry today. Yes, live sessions, tests, material, async sessions, recorded sessions, GDPI preparation, everything is there in that. And you can join us on Telegram in case you want to stay connected, ask certain queries about marks, percentile colleges, etc. etc. All of those are answered here, right? So I'll see you tomorrow then at 12 p.m. Yes, absolutely. That's always our effort to have as many sessions with you as we can, Prats. So I've just got my schedule for June also. I have a good number of sessions with you, and don't worry, we'll have sessions not just on grammar but on all the areas, right? Welcome, Sanil. Welcome, welcome, Prats. Welcome, sweetie. I'll see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Okay, again with a new session. Bye. Yes, Sujit, you should absolutely prepare for synonym antonyms because they are asked in MHCET and sometimes they are asked in a good number also. So 5 to 6 questions from synonym antonyms can appear in MHCET. So you should prepare for them, right? And I took this session called your 3-month strategy for MHCET on Monday, this Monday itself at 12 p.m. It is available on YouTube. Just go through it once. You'll realize everything that you need to prepare for and how to prepare for it. Okay? Welcome. Bye.